Welcome, everybody. Welcome to BeoTalk 264. Uh,
It's a long ways.
yeah. God, a week off feels like I'm totally out of it. And oh, the other side on Twitch, you're maybe no longer there. Oh,
I'm
that
making
picked up.
coffee. I'm making coffee. Hold
uh, Hope everybody's doing well. I forget how to do the shilling now. God, my head is in all different spaces. And where are my links? You can get 10% off if you go to the website and use my promo code. Go buy yourself something nice. Uh, Subscribe to the Substack, I think. Come join our Discord. What else? Oh yeah, if you want a guaranteed answer to your topic and or question, uh, leave us a super chat and we'll guarantee to answer your question and or problem if we can.
There we go. I'm ready.
And I think that's about it.
That's it, bro. Nice.
So yeah, skinny plays cool. Yeah. How's your week been?
It's been very interesting, to be honest. I made a decision to sell my 90s. So we'll see. I have an offer, but I'm not sure, to be honest. And yeah, that's basically where it starts. I think it's uh, logistically, I think it works out better if I get rid of them here and buy them again in the US, even though they're gonna be more money now again. But it's easier on a storage here now, and a whole bunch of logistics more or less as well. And I might just get the 50s instead because I haven't owned these speakers before. So, and it's been a year and a half that they've been sitting in a storage locker, so it's kind of sad news. You know what I mean? I don't. I feel bad for them that they can't be enjoyed, and if I can't enjoy them, then so
I'll make a poll. Actually, I'm doing that right now.
the other option is me and my girlfriend are moving into a bigger apartment together. So I think that if there's enough room, I might divert from that decision completely. But I still need to move stuff out of the out of the locker and just bring down the cost of it. Because so far I've been looking at it, I've spent almost 6 grand on the pod storage locker in this year and a half. So it's quite a bit. Well, 4 grand a year it costs, or at least $500 per se. So it's I'm bleeding money into these speakers, not even enjoying them. You know what I mean? Well, there's everything else in my storage, but had I not had the 90s in there,
Yeah, but the
knowing that I'm
90s
gonna
is
be
like
this
half
long.
of the storage by this point.
No, it's not. They're like I have an 8 by 16 foot storage locker, but here's even the harsh reality of the logistics. You would decide to sell them. I have to empty out the entire goddamn locker in order to get to them, first of all, and I'm honestly going to hire some people to help me move them, and depends where the location is. If it's within the city, it's fine, but if it's out of town, which that's where the proposition sits now, it's how do I transport them, right? Do I just put them on a U-Haul and drive them there myself? Do I hire a company that does it? You know,
With
so there
all
are a lot
the
of things.
potential of disaster that gives.
Yeah, so that's about where I'm at with it. So, and also I don't want to sell them for cheap. I don't want to give them away. You know what I mean? These speakers mean a lot to me. Even though some people say that I shouldn't get attached to electronics, but to me, B&O is not just electronics. You know, it's a piece of memories and experiences, and there's a lot that goes with those speakers. There's not many products that you have around your life for a long time, or a majority of it for most of us.
No, not at all. Plus, these are white 90s, so nowadays the starting price.
No, I
Well,
think they're regular. That's the regular color now. It's not even bespoke. They were, but they are now regular color, from what I hear.
well, I mean, but in USD now they're 125, and in 11 days, 12 days, they're going to be
Hmm.
up to 140 odd, if not 145 grand USD.
Hmm. So I just, yeah, like I said, I do not want to give them away, and I don't think that me selling them or having an offer is a once in a lifetime opportunity per se. I'm sure there's plenty other people that would be interested in buying them for a good price. But yeah, for me, it's just a.
Chava asks, does this prove that the 18s are more of a keeper than 90s?
In a way, I would agree with you because moving the 90s is not a pleasant experience per se, especially if you are on the level of OCD that I have. And, you got to take a really good care of, putting on the service hooks or transport hooks and then hooking up to the fucking speaker so you don't dent the crowns, because denting the aluminum crowns, A, it's a lot of money to replace them, and B, you have to take apart all three of them if the bottom one's damaged, because you have to take apart between all the stuff, the silver pieces, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's expensive if you nick anything. Like even a sail is what, two
A few
grand
hundred,
now?
yeah, it's not funny. So, and I'm just, yeah, I'm really debating. Like, am I making a huge biggest mistake of my life, or am I making a sound business decision? But my gut feeling is that I'm making a mistake to get rid of them.
Well, it depends on the price, I would say. I mean, yes, they are special, uh, but it depends for a lot of it. Like maybe it's sort of the Dutch in me, right?
Hmm.
Because in the Netherlands, everybody's a tradesman essentially, and people would sell their mothers if the price was right. So I've always grown up with the sort of mentality that everything's for sale, even when it's not for sale.
Hmm.
But the price has to be right, right? Like you can walk
Hmm.
up to somebody's home and say, like, how much you want? It's like it's not for sale. Okay, but name a number.
Fair enough.
I mean, and in the rest of the world, that's considered quite rude, and I understand why.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, there is a number where it makes sense.
Yeah, I don't want to publicly divulge the number, but it doesn't make sense to me. So that's why I'm kind of on the fence. Like, do I really undergo all of this? I'm still gonna move out of the storage, out of the pods locker, because at the end of the day, facing the fact I've been in this thing so many times now, it's such a fucking mess. Like, and it's not a mess per se that everything is on top of everything, like open boxes and whatnot. But it's a mess in a way that I don't know, because there are some boxes that just don't have the labels and I don't know what's in them. So I have to go and re-inventory everything. Like the Lego stuff and all that, that doesn't change, that doesn't get touched, or neither does the furniture.
But it's also not
But
the thing that uses the most space.
no, but if I fit the 90s in the 10 by 10 foot locker, which I'm certain of it, and load everything else in it, the Lego and blah, 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 uh, I should be fine. And then I reduce the cost from 365 bucks a month for the pod storage locker to, for the first 3 months, is going to be $139, which is not bad at all. And the biggest advantage of it is the accessibility, because if I want to get to my pod's locker, I'm fucking weather dependent, because they just put the container out on the parking lot. So if you want to dig deep, you better hope it's a sunny day when you get it, so your shit don't get wet. And or you suffer, with it, and just wait till the weather improves, or hopefully, roll the dice for the next Saturday. So this way I can get into the place between 5 in the morning and 10 o'clock at night, which also helps me at work, because I can get access to all my rest of the Milwaukee stuff. That
Yeah, your tools that are actually essential.
Yeah, like I have all the essential stuff, but like those bins with all the trinkets and stuff, and like if I go out somewhere on a far out job, like I want to rather look at all that shit than look for some of it. You know what I
I need
mean?
my last Masterlink connector. Damn.
Right.
Where is it?
So it's exactly that, and you never know, like, because there's a lot of BNO in Montreal, man, a lot of BNO.
I mean, so far, people vote. There's a poll in the chat. So far, it seems that effectively it's between 65 and 75 grand USD
Yeah.
that people would say is fair, I think.
Hmm.
Which, I mean, for white 90s, I think that is not bad. That's, I would say, on par, but I'm going to check Hi-Fi Shark now and see like sort of where the market is at.
Hmm.
Floor standing speakers, BLAB 90s.
Just for the goof to see what
So there's
you're talking about.
currently in the world there are 3 sets for sale. It seems like 75,000 euro, 80,000 euro, and that is about 60,000 euro. The 575,000 DKK because it's silly money. That in USD would be at least 65.
Yeah.
Because euro to USD is about 10% more at the moment.
Yeah.
So I mean, personally, I would say if it's under 65,000 USD, it's a fucking steal. Regardless of age, because some of these, I bet you, are out of their warranty too.
Of course.
Like I've been saying for God knows how long, one of the things besides the price that has always kept me away from 90s is the size and weight.
That's the biggest problem for me right now.
I mean, I really, really like them, but they're so massive, they're so heavy, and it's sort
Like
of a
even if
meme. Like
I
I'd buy yours, but I'm in the same position. I've been thinking about when you mention it, and sort of going like, well,
how the
even
fuck
if
do
I
I get
get
them?
somebody to like haul them over, either I drive to Montreal, which turns it into a 3-day job,
Hmm.
but then I have to still hire somebody on this end to help me because there's no goddamn way I can lift these with my girlfriend.
No, 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 no. That's a 3 guy job in a box, man. That's serious.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have my new front door yet, so it's also really tight on the only door it can go through. Because
Hmm.
I mean, we ordered new doors and windows, and one, I think it's called a Bermuda door, where the door itself is wider, but then you also have like one of these where the door goes out and the other side of the door comes in. So you have like a 48-inch entrance or something like that.
Hmm.
Partially because like we want to buy couches and that sort of stuff, like big stuff, right? And currently the biggest door is the garage door, but it has like a 90 in straight to the living room, which is like, God,
Hmm.
this is all a pain in the ass to do that.
Hmm.
And 50s are just so much easier in that sense.
But like what Sandeep says, that selling used speakers isn't always easy, and the price that people are actually willing to pay is often disappointing. I agree with you on that, but also this is a completely different set of speakers. They're very, very unique. A, B. At the end of the day, even if I sell them for 70 grand and they are going to be 140 right now, so I'm going to sell them for the half price of the retail. Even if both speakers give up a ghost, I don't see it being costing you more than 15,000 US dollars to replace the entire set of electronics in them. Need be not the drivers, but just boards or whatever. If something goes down, there's no way. So that being said, it's just no matter what, you're getting a smoking deal if
Yes.
you buy those used speakers,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
because I already ate the retail on them. Even though I ate the retail on them 6 years ago, they were nowhere near as much money, because when they first came out, they were 105,000. They were 105,000 Canadian dollars. They're now at what, 167? They're going to go for a Canadian.
Yeah,
So
they're going up to ridiculous amounts of money.
mm-hmm. And for me, yes, they're what, 6 years old, but they haven't been used 6 years now. Like they've been sitting for a year and a half almost in the freaking storage locker, which is a shame.
But realistically, if you sell them, would you buy them again?
I would probably buy them or try to buy them again, or if not, I would get the 50s, because 50s are way more manageable, yourself, as far
Yeah.
as the movement and
I mean,
relocation and so on and so forth.
I would say for one, like if you have to figure that out for yourself, because if you were going to buy them again, it makes no sense.
I know.
But if you are more or less set, like saying like I want to own 50s because I haven't had them, and they'll sort of do for whatever. I would say if you are set on like let's have some 50s because they're easier in every way,
Hmm.
then it makes more sense to sell them, so to say.
Yes. Yeah, Max, I would buy them new again, obviously. I wouldn't go for a used pair. I wouldn't buy them back. Fuck. Uh, Here's the logic behind why I would sell them and rebuy them back. If this Visa deal requires me to actually have physical money instead of inventory, if they don't count my inventory, because it sounds like towards that they might not, which is about $200,000, I then would have to liquidate some of the stuff in order to meet the threshold of minimum what they want from me. And then I would have to invest that money in US. So I would basically have to just buy a set of speakers again in order to prove that, like it's in the business or through the business.
Yeah,
So
but
so
that's
that's the
also a tax
only.
write-off at that point then.
Yes. So, and that's the whole principle behind doing it this way, right? But I don't want to also fucking give them away because they're in pristine condition. I've taken very, very good care of those speakers, very, very good care of them. And, you know, in the apartment that I've had them, the way they were tuned, I personally don't believe that they ever went to their full potential.
Oh,
They
no
could not.
way.
There is no way in hell that they could, in 800 square foot apartment, which includes 2 rooms and 2 bathrooms and 2 closets. There's no way that these speakers reach their ultimate power, or even when I listened to them in Tremblant when we got those speakers fixed and swapped more or less. Uh, it was so much different of a sound in a big room, even though they were tuned. But like, it's just so much different of a sound than what I remember them.
But they can breathe.
Yeah, that's the thing, that they could breathe more. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really, really, really on the fence. I just don't think that. Uh, I don't feel I'm getting enough money for them for what they're worth.
If you want some 90s and you're in Canada, email Willie.
Yeah,
Your email is in chat.
it's been there for a while, but
Or
yeah.
if you have some
So
50s to trade in and some cash, you may take that too if you're in Canada.
yeah, the 50s are an option too. But then again, I'd rather buy them there because I could do it for the business, right?
No, I understand, but like
So
if somebody says, I don't know, how about 35 and a set of 50s that are, I don't know, a year left on their warranty, that would be enticing, surely.
mhm.
I mean, the difference between 50s and 90s is that 50s could potentially fit in that apartment you're currently in. I mean, the
Mhm.
90s would for sure not work because you couldn't open any door anymore.
Where?
Where you are right now, right? Like That's the sort of the size difference. Like 90s would not work where you live right now. You wouldn't do either, right? Because of neighbors and shit.
No, I couldn't do them.
But
Even if I could do it, I couldn't do it because I couldn't get out on the damn balcony
yeah,
in the
but
summer.
50s would
Somewhat
actually
work.
fit, as in size wise. I mean,
Yes.
but that's the biggest difference. 90s
90s take up a lot.
they're
Take up a
so
lot of room.
huge, and if you want to set them up any halfway decently, you need at least 40 centimeters from both walls.
Yes. Yeah, they can't be too close. Mine were too close to the one wall, not as close to the back wall, but yeah, I'm very much on the fence of it. That what should I sell them for, and if I even should sell them at this point, because they are going to increase in value again, and I guarantee you next year they're going up again.
I mean,
They've gone up every year.
so far the insanity with all the price rises is that the secondhand market has followed by the same sort of percentage.
But you know what? Like, so it should, in my opinion. Wouldn't you ask more if you know it's more now?
Ask, yes. Get, I don't know. I mean, it is kind of weird that 4 years ago you could get a set of 90s from a similar age for, I don't know, 40.
Hmm.
I mean,
Not anymore.
No, oh no, those days are gone. I think the first two price rises since then, they sort of the secondhand market lagged, and then all of a sudden was like, hey, they're 90 grand now. So how about 70?
Yeah. No,
Like,
and that's fair.
and the
Like,
funny thing is on places like Hi-Fi Shark and stuff, you can see the price changes on secondhand market because it apparently keeps track. And
oh yeah,
people actually change the pricing on their listing upwards.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Why would you undersell yourself if you have something that valuable, in my opinion? So
So,
I just kind of also wonder what issues these speakers will develop over time. You know, like the fives have a known problem with the amplifier boards where the mid bass and the bass amplifiers just give up a ghost, plus a bunch of little components on the main board. And how long are those parts going to be available to be supported? I hope they're going to be available for at least another 20 years for speakers that caliber.
I mean, the whole PCB board for the 50s isn't actually that expensive, somebody told me.
The what?
The whole PCB board that drives everything on the 50s isn't actually all that expensive.
Well, no, you're paying for the engineering on the sound of it. Like,
Yeah, I mean, if I remember right, it was €1,000 or something. So with labor, like 1,500, something like that.
yeah, but the IP on it is.
But that's like everything. That's all the amps, all the
Mhm.
room comp, you name it. And apparently, it's designed much better than the fives, as in like you open a sort of cubby and you can almost like a PCB slide it out from like a connector.
Oh, on the fives or fifties, I
On
mean.
the
Yeah.
50s.
Yeah. It's much more it's much more serviceable. So are the 90s. 90s are very serviceable speaker. Very, very serviceable speaker. You have to be careful, of course, but it's very serviceable speaker. I actually had a very positive experience with working on it that I got a chance.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, it's somebody's bad luck is my good luck that I actually got to work on those speakers.
I mean,
So
I have a feeling that not much will actually go bad on 50s or 90s,
no,
barring like shorting out or that sort of thing, right? Like accidents or bugs or shit getting in.
the only thing that I could think of that could go wrong, but there's not much of it in the 90s that I've seen. But you know that foam tape that they use to cover the wires in between the inside the product. That was a big problem with it on Lab Ones when that foam tape basically rotted out, fell on the and started falling on the amplifier PCB board and shortened it out and killed the speaker basically. So that's the things that I kind of worry about. But I've seen the insides of the 90s. I'm not worried at all. Nothing is compressed inside. It was very like the heat management is impeccable.
Well, also, it was tech that was proven. It was cutting edge in many ways, but the parts used weren't like crazy or unproven. they were just used in a different way. So the software is stable. There was an era in tech, right, where like it wasn't too small, but it wasn't big, and it was kind of efficient. And we're currently getting to the point where chips and all that stuff is getting so tiny, it's becoming problematic, and they're
Yes.
like more or less. I want to say 2012 to 2018 was a sort of good age for tech because it all still works.
Hmm.
I mean,
Well, it was on the level that it could still be serviced, not even more or less, even I would say almost on a component level too. Where nowadays the microelectronics and it's just so minute that yes, even if you have like you can't even do it if you have a microscope because the hand like you just need machines to do it now. So
I still have what a sixth gen Intel computer, and it still runs quite well.
hmm
Like it's not even sluggish or anything. Like
I do agree, although with Max and Sandeep that people in the market for 90s usually if they can facilitate buying them new, yes, they can. Obviously, everybody's in for a good deal, but I'm not gonna drop my pants around my ankles to sell my speakers that I don't like. I don't even know how this all turned out. That I just all of a sudden decided, honestly, like it was just a spur of a moment. But I don't know. I'm
well,
having
it's
very
like a
much second
divorce. You've
thoughts.
been away from them for so long, you basically almost don't remember them.
That's right. And the problem is that now the shit's getting real, right? And I don't think that I really want a divorce. You know, and fuck it. I would bring him. I would bring him. I would bring him. Oh, I just got a message from a customer. Anyways, I would bring him. I would bring him to that apartment because I also want my girlfriend to experience those speakers. It's something that obviously she's never really seen or heard around about B&O before we've met, and you know, I also find it cute when like she watches her bullshit shows, the what is it, Love Island. Oh my god, man, that's like I
Like the
can't
British
believe.
version, or
No, the American one doesn't matter, man. It's seeping stupid out of it so bad. And I just throw her a box of Kleenex, and she sits there with the Be Remote one, and she turns the stand to the. It's cute. It's cute, and she hears the difference too because when the theater turns, like because I had it preset and tuned, blah blah blah. So I could only imagine what that would do with the set of 90s in the
it'll blow her
apartment.
pants off.
So that's the hinge, right? That I don't want to give up that experience. Also, like those speakers are something that if you are lucky enough to own them, it's an experience acoustically speaking that is second to none. No matter what people say from the audiophile world and the analog and things and whatever, I've heard some crazy ass systems in my time, but the set of 90s is always something pleasant to sit in front of
Oh, for
by a
sure.
long shot. By
It's,
a long shot.
personally, like my personal opinion is that 50s are close enough.
Yes.
I mean, and 50s are jaw dropping to 99.98% of people.
Oh yeah, no, they're jaw dropping to everybody. That's just the same thing like when the fives were cool, and you bring the people to the theater and you play like a Dark Knight or something and just blow their pants off with it. And especially if you were lucky enough to have a shop to work in a shop that would have two pairs, one in the front, one in the back, because at that time they were considered very, very expensive. Which now, they're decent rear channels for the 90s, essentially.
Decent rear channels for the 90s.
So
Again, I feel you run into sort of, well, not issues, but you run into the same problem of not having space to breathe. Like 50s need space.
mhm.
Just like,
Not as much as 90s, but they definitely do need some room.
yeah, I mean, some, the thing was like in my last two apartments, right? when I was going like, holy hell, this is a lot of bass, I sometimes like rewound it, played it
Mm,
again, took the covers off, like, let's see how much these drivers move. And it's
not
like,
much.
it's like, wait, how? Jesus, so like, what would happen if I went to like 80 or 90 besides getting complaints and fines and shit?
I had the grills off on the 90s one day,
Yeah, but you also turned it to literally 90 volume
and
and that sort
and
of thing.
and I put it to full tits. I put it to absolute, gave her all the beans. And in my apartment, that front driver moved very little, very little. And the other ones also. I've actually made a video of it on my Instagram a while back, where you can actually see them play in and out of phase completely differently and independently from one another to produce the sound where it's supposed to be at 100% perfect.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm sure people that are involved in this are watching.
I mean, if you get, I don't know, somewhere between 70 to 75 USD for it,
I
would
would
you
probably go with it.
would you regret it at that point? Like there is a balance, right?
Yes.
Like if you could sell them right now for, I don't know, 50,000 USD, I'd say like you're
No.
mad. Why sell them?
No. No. That's
Because
not.
that's the price of 50s already. So next month here in the US, it'll be 55 to 60 grand for 50s.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't fully know Canadian pricing, but if I'm not mistaken, it's about 30% more because of your
Gonna
Canadian rupees.
gonna end up listening to this at the end of the fucking Montreal trip over here, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, the Explorer is a very, very cool speaker, I must say. That little pop can is a very nice companion. Very, very nice. And I can't believe it plays stereo on its own. It's cool. It's very cool. But anyways, I don't know. I'm very much hinging on backing out of the deal simply because I just don't feel that I'm gonna sell them for the right money. Let me see here.
I guess the only thing I would say is see if you can get the right money for it. But besides that,
No, there's no way I'm gonna sell it for that little.
so yeah. I mean,
No, my max offer would be 55,000 US. That's not happening. No, no deal. No deal.
I mean, if you're curious, you could potentially, like Matt says in the chat, list them on September after the price rise has gone through.
That's fair too. But then again, like I said, I'm not in any insane of a rush to sell them. Like this just came up as a spur of a moment type of thing, and more or less it was incentivized also by the fact that me and my girlfriend decided to move in together, and it's easier to then just amalgamate the storage into one visitable one, and pay less money for it. And I
Wait,
figure
but
while I'm doing all this, then like if I'm moving those speakers, I haven't really listened to them for so long, I might as well just fucking see if I can sell them. But I'm not gonna give them away. No, there's no way.
practical question, like
Mm,
if you're gonna move in, I take it you're gonna have another year lease, right?
yes,
So going to the US is over a year out anyway.
it might be over a year out. Depends. Like I'm not gonna obviously stiffer with the lease if I leave, but
No, no,
there's also a
I
way to.
understand, but if they, let's say you move in next week or whenever it is,
Yeah, we're gonna move in together September
and like
when my apartment is done.
1st of December they say, "Oh, come to Miami, you're free to go now."
Then even if that happens, I'm still going to wait till spring. I'm not moving all of my equipment there and risking fucking sliding it somewhere, going through Vernon into New York and fucking come off the road. and everything's in pieces now. So I'm gonna wait till the roads are actually clear enough for me to be on my internal piece with it to move it all in there, and be looking at how it needs to be. I need to inventory the piss out of everything inside, because now that I have visas and stuff, I'm sure they're going to look up my ass a little harder even too. So it all needs to be lined up to the last fork and spoon on the list. And for that, I need to literally have an access to it for a few days, in a row at a time per se, or any time that I have free moment to go up there on Saturday and just unpack stuff and rebox it after inventorying everything. So that's yeah. Yeah, I'm not selling it for this much money or for that little money. Fuck that. No.
No, but
No.
that's so far people have voted that essentially under 65 grand USD, it's a no-go.
Yes.
31% say 65 to 70, 31% say 75, and 27% say 75 to 80 grand USD.
So I would say the average would be about 75K for those speakers to be listed.
I mean, at least listed. So, I mean, getting is maybe a different question, but like, surely that means that people think 65 getting USD is quite fair.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would think so. I don't know what it is in Canadian rupees, but
it's put my phone on the charger like a dimwit. You can do it on a computer anyways.
That's about 88,000 Canadian. So 90 grand Canadian, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, depends on things here, there, obviously, and what's involved. But if somebody offers you like 60 to 65 grand Canadian, I would say that's a slap in the face, unless the moving cost is 20 grand.
Right. So, no, and I just can't bring myself to do that for that little. I've been oodling and noodling it for a bit now, but that's but yeah, I understand, Max. There's a guide price online, but there is really only 3 pairs in the world that are being sold as second hand. So
yeah, there's nothing in Canada,
and there's nothing here. There's nothing here.
I mean, there's not even anything in the US. Like,
no.
all of the US is like, the US and Canada together is what, like 400 million people, and there's not one for sale?
Nope.
I mean, at least not publicly listed. I mean, I guess you could potentially ask a dealer for a showroom model or something, but I doubt dealers would go under.
The showroom model is what, 10% off. That's it, man.
Yeah, but if you're a massive customer, it may be a little bit more, but then you're still at 100 to 105 X sales tax.
Yeah,
because that's what most Europeans forget in the US, right? Like, there's no sales tax in the price, which is, depending on where you are, it can be like not so much, like 5%, or when it's high, it's 14%, but still, that adds up on 100 grand.
Also, it makes a problem with me logistically, because I still have those speakers as a part of my company, right? Yeah. Even though the company is inactive. So if I sell them and I get cash for it, how the fuck do I wash this cash now? Like, you know what I mean? Because I still have to produce an invoice. You still have to pay tax on it. There's no other way to do it. So
you had an accident and it's all cash.
Well, no, because if you think about it, like, how do you? Because obviously, like, the US side will want to know where the money's come from, right? Like, how do I prove that I'm not some narc dealer or whatever, and I just, ran a bunch of bags of coke into Mexico and I made 70 grand, right? Or whatever. Like, that's fuck. Like, how do you?
No, I was helping Uncle Bob, and he had like a duffel bag full of money he said I could keep.
That's right. Yeah, we found this in the attic of an old house. So
you want to see their old bills as well?
Yeah, so that's another thing that I'd rather do it more legally. And I'm honestly, before I even make this firm decision, well, I already made my decision anyways. But even if I'm going to do that, I'm gonna talk to the lawyers and see if that, because that was initially the whole objective, that we bring the inventory in as a part of the business.
Hmm.
So I don't know where it all stands now, because that law firm is fucking atrocious, but it's just my opinion. So yeah, I'd rather honestly spend a little bit more money and move them and have the movers with the come into the new apartment and just set them up. I think that's what's going to happen. So we'll go to Ferrari showroom and hop there.
Yeah.
By the way, new Ferrari edition is coming out. It's awesome looking.
Yeah,
We go.
it's not it I like that
I'm buying the Explorer, man, for my toolbox. Fuck, all red and black, bro. Can't go wrong with that.
uh well, this is the Beosound 2, right?
Yes, I think it's gonna be like 7Gs again or some nonsense again.
Yeah, you must really, really
See what I can
like
stand.
uh what you call it, Ferrari, and or that red, but it's not really Ferrari red. It's sort of similar. Where did I see it? Because I did see it, but I forget where now. Was it a press release? Could be. Oh no, the B&O is now sponsoring a football team in Monaco. That's a thing as well.
Okay, so we're gonna have another set of headphones released,
Yeah, apparently.
most likely.
What is it? They're sponsoring AS Monaco. I mean, that can't be cheap.
No,
I don't understand. Like,
that's just the life, man. They're going for it.
yeah, but they complain about not making money, and then they spend it hand over fist on shit like this. And
Well, we're all paying for it in B&O tax now. Obviously, another increase just telltale the sign. I think, in my opinion, as far as where the company's headed, I think that they're just inflating the prices to also balloon their budget for things like these or things like that that they're doing. You know, the bespoke whatever. I don't know.
yeah, I mean, the BSM 2 in red, somebody posted a picture on Discord, but I forget where it is now.
It's beautiful looking though.
Yeah, it looks very good, but like, is it 7 grand good because it says Ferrari on it?
Right?
Eh,
But you know what though? If you got a nice Ferrari in the garage, I think you would spend 7 grand to have a nice Ferrari branded speaker from B&O in your garage, even though there is no B&O in the Ferrari. But
yeah, I guess we're not the market for it, so I mean, I can't really complain. I mean,
I'm slowly
I'm
I'm
much more.
slowly starting to get desensitized to that, being in Montreal, to be honest with you.
I mean, I'm much more okay with the sort of special editions being crazy money.
Hmm.
What I don't appreciate is the Louis Vuitton model, as they sort of want to emulate, right, or something of
Hmm.
the sort. And apparently Mercedes did that, and I think it was BeoTalk on Discord that like Mercedes started charging a lot more, like 30 to 40% more compared to 2019, and went much more high end, and it has given them a lot more money in the bank. But that's like 40% compared to 2019, and it's like a big difference also. It's like in terms of Mercedes or Louis Vuitton, like it's all new models, right? And they perpetually get more. Like with B&O, we sell the same things since, in 90s cases, 2015, and it's just more money. There's nothing different. Like if they made 92s, 95s, Beolab Centuries or something like that, Beolab Hundreds. Like
I hope they come up with something for the 100th birthday, but I don't know where in between what that speaker, if it's going to be a set of speakers even to sit. Is it going to be between the 90s and 50s, or is it going to be between the 50s and the 28s? You know, is it going to be above the 90s? Well, how the fuck can you make a bigger speaker than that? And like,
well, they just the idea is just charge 30% more for everything, right? Which is
well, almost everything. But I think the most drastic right now is the theater, right? That got a 29% spike. That's terrible.
But
makes me feel good about my theater now. You know what I mean?
But the essence of what I'm trying to say, it's not so obvious if you make something new that's a ridiculous price.
Mm-hmm.
Because at least you get something else, right? And you move up. It's like, imagine if Mercedes still sold the same S-Class from 2019 for now just 40% more money. Like, everybody would go like, what?
Yes.
So that makes no goddamn sense. And this is why it's sort of it makes it less a slap in the face if you make new stuff at way higher prices.
Yes. Do you think people would have complained if they came out with a theater get cost of 13 grand right out of the gate, or Canadian or whatever it is in like 10,000 US dollars?
Yes.
Instead of, you know what I'm saying? Or should I have increased it maybe by 1,000? You know, for me, like a $3,000 increase on the price should be coming with a choice of wood grill, not a gray melange or naked speaker type of thing, right?
I would think so. I mean, surely, I think when they launched it, they should have known this strategy was coming up, right? Like, split the difference. Like, the 55 then should have been 8,500 or more or less 8 grand, let's say, at the beginning. People would still complain about the price increase, but a 30% price increase is like, ooh, like that's a lot for literally no difference.
That's a big boot in the balls. That's what that is, and that'll take a wind out of you a little bit. And I think especially it takes the wind out of the sails, no pun intended, from being able to sell extra speakers. Like
that's the reason why I really don't understand it. It's like, take a little bit of a hit if you need to sell that much more for more money, right? Take a little bit of a hit on the theater, because that's what ropes you in.
Well, most of the theaters that we sell, not most, but there is a decent majority of the theaters that end up with a set of 18s. You know, Stefan is a perfect example. He went proper, not overkill, but he went proper way and bought another set for the front, and 2 pairs of 18s with the theater and a sub. It sounds fucking amazing, but again, you have to still tweak it in the theater, because I'll get into that in a bit after watching a whole bunch of movies and how it all sounds. But it really kind of closes the door, or makes it much more harder to open it to a client when it comes to buying a now set of speakers, which also had gone up in price, mind you, right? So
yeah,
and now all of a sudden something that was close, it's now $3,000 away or further, right? So thanks, Lance.
Welcome, Lance.
So it's something that we whine and bitch about it, but I see this in the store where people come in. Most of the people, yes, they are return customers or whatnot, but when they come in, they just see the price and, well, that's just what it is, right? Because they're not following this like we do per se, and own taking the ownership in the early stages. Like they just, The ladies Avant died. Okay, well, what is there to replace it with? Because I have all these speakers. Okay, theater. How much is that? Poof. Okay, well, shit, there it is. And then you need a panel. What size? Well, I'll go with the 65. Boom, done. And there you go. And it's really not that difficult to sell, but I think it is starting to be difficult to sell to the repeat customers because you just walk into the store and holy shit, like that just gone up a lot.
I mean, in many ways, 18s are an entry speaker, right? Or at least that's how they're price positioned in their range. So if you have an entry level customer, which is crazy to say, but like Canadian prices more or less. So
Mhm.
I don't know that many people that can be that flippant with like 20 grand Canadian. So that's something you consider for a bit, right?
Yeah, Montreal's a lot of money, bro.
No, I
I'm actually
understand,
very
but
surprised.
there's plenty of people that like I don't know earn 60 to 100K a year. Like 20 grand is a lot, right? But you're at the point where like we can get some luxury.
Yeah.
It's like let's walk into B&O. It's like so I want a theater and 18s. What is that going to get me? That's like 23ish grand Canadian.
Probably more.
Then yeah, well, let's say 23 to 25 somewhere around there.
Well, no, but now with the new pricing, no, but
But
with the
that's
old
what I mean,
pricing,
right? Like you consider that. You consider that more than a day. I mean, you may come back and like start to convince yourself like, "Ooh,
yeah.
I can spend 25 grand." And then a month later it's like, "Okay, I'll pay you 25 grand." It's like, "No. It's 35 now." Wait, what?
Hmm.
Because I mean, in Canadian, what? The theater's going up by 5,000 Canadian or something?
The what, sorry?
The theater's
Just
going up
mention.
by like 5,000 Canadian or something, or three
No,
and a half
no,
thousand,
$3,000.
which is a lot to go up. And we're
Yes.
not really. At least I don't remember what the 18s if they're also going up, but I bet
I
you they
think they're going
are.
up a little bit. They're going up a little bit. Yes.
But also, they've been in production since 2012.
Yeah. Well, 8,000s have been in production for how long?
Sure, but like my 18s have been with me since launch. So,
Hmm.
like my I can sell my 18s quite literally for more money than I paid new for them now.
Hmm.
And that was even in Europe that was true, right? Like it's even more the case now that I've moved to the US because for some reason here they're 13,000 USD,
Yeah.
which is like I don't understand. Like how?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm freaking torn between, but I'm just not gonna do it. There's no way I'm gonna do the deal for this little. No. No. Also, I have the same problem with my Beo Remote One as Sandeep was saying in the chat that there's a little bit of a chatter in Discord, I guess, around Beo Remote One going to sleep
He said be a world, but
or
okay.
Beo World. Yeah, I do have that issue. I only have that issue with one out of well, now two remotes because I put one of my remotes into my service bag because you never know sometimes, and I also rather use my remote to set everything up and let the because it's easier, I guess. And I can have it in my back pocket, whatever. I don't have to worry about scratching it. It's a freaking beater. So the client's remote doesn't really get touched other than you put the batteries in it, pair it to it, and then edit everything in the app.
Speaking of
But
that, that won't be a beater anymore because a Be a Remote One is going from €300 to €400.
yeah, it's
It's
coming up
like
as well in price. So yeah, it is what it is. I do have that same problem with the remote. Only one. The other, and they're all updated to the same firmware version. But I have one that always loses its mind, and you press music or TV, and it just says TV or music. There is no sources being downloaded from the theater whatsoever. Uh, I also have another weird thing that happens if I go from, let's say, YouTube into Net Radio or Net Music or whatever, the Deezer or BNO Radio, and I go back to, let's say, YouTube through my favorite or just through a source button. it turns on the panel, but the sound doesn't come out. I have to switch to like a Plex or a whatever internal app source, and then
Mm.
go back to YouTube, and then the sound comes up. And I think, well, that's a more problem of an LG than anything, because it doesn't make sense that the YouTube wouldn't have sound, and then you switch within the TV to a Plex, and then you switch back to YouTube, and the sound comes on continual. So I
Serge
don't
just said he
understand.
has it with his Beer Remote 1 and a Harmony as well.
Interesting. I haven't seen that in any of our clients that have.
Well, it's with a
Uh,
second Beer Remote 1 on the Harmony, so
the first one is okay, and the second one drops out.
this may be like partially a software version of the remote then?
But what I don't understand is I have an Essence remote, right? I have an Essence remote glued to my bed on the side there, so I can turn the music down, whatever, and I can actually all standby also. And I have the same remote in the bathroom with connected to the Emerge. I've had the Beo Remote 1 drop off from the theater and the Emerge. I've never seen the Essence ever come offline. As soon as you turn it up or down, it you can see the dots coming up or down on the Emerge, or that's identical behavior on the theater. It never
Hmm.
drops out. It never dropped out, man. Ever dropped out. And I still have the same set of batteries in that thing since uh it was since I moved here to Montreal. So I've had this remote unpacked now
It's
since,
over
I
a
guess,
year.
December. Well, I've had them unpacked for about since December when I got the theater, because then that's when I went to the storage and I dug them up, and because I was very curious to yeah,
Through
amongst
your
all my
shit.
pianos, among all my boxes of piano, I dug them up, and I hooked them up, and yeah, they've never dropped out. I've had always issues with the Bio remote once, never with the Essence remotes, which is very interesting. So
Huh.
I honestly wish that they come out with the fucking remote that is backlit, man. I really do, and it's chargeable, because at this point of time, uh, charging habits are not alien to any human being on this planet, unless you live somewhere in the middle of freaking jungle and you hunt with spears. Everybody that has an Apple Watch is conscious of the fact that you got to charge the bloody thing, even though like you put it on your the contactless charger or whatever. But you have to charge the fucking thing. You have to charge your phone. You have to charge your car if you're hipster enough and you got an electric. And why not have something that has a nice, sexy cradle and is a little more utilitarian than the Halo? Halo is nice. I don't get me wrong, but it's not something that I would sit with and navigate YouTube
But you need to
or
charge that thing
browse
every three
Netflix.
days,
Well, that's exactly it. It's the same problem, right?
if
And
not sooner.
doesn't seem to be a problem. I've played with it. You can get about a good day of operation out of it when you are using it as a screen remote as well, right? Or TV remote. But I think that it should. I don't think, Max, that the wireless charging would be possible due to the aluminum thickness. It might be, but I don't think so. Unless they would incorporate another, like a plastic slip, like they have those strips of for Wi-Fi antennae in Beosound 1 and 2. That could be done in a way, I guess, but I don't know. I really think that they should consider something on a same concept like the Beocom 2.
A BO4, because that had plastic at the bottom and that wasn't distracting at all.
No, but yeah. But if you make because it's a unibody remote basically, right? With that single chassis. Like if you made something that basically the remote would, if you can pull up a Beocom 2 and just put on the screen just for the people for the reference that they on a table stand or wall bracket, doesn't matter. But if you had those two pogo connectors and just basically magnetically just clips on to the remote, like it does on the STB brackets, and charges it, then I don't see that being a big of a deal to have, a designated area where you just, when you're done watching your TV, you click the remote onto it and it just charges. And basically, yeah, have same sort of a, maybe a nicer base, right? Obviously. you are looking at $1,000 remote at that point, in my opinion, for sure. But I think something like that just would make sense to have a remote control that that
Look,
is
I wouldn't be
rechargeable.
so bothered to spend a lot for a remote if it had the actual features everybody wanted.
Yes, I think they should come up with a Beo Remote Mark II and have it backlit. They should definitely, or uh, get the keypads printed with the high fluorescent or phosphorus content, whatever it is. Those like the same stuff that is printed on the watch dials.
I mean, compared to the Beocom 2, right, you can almost do the inverse instead of like the keypad being on the inside, curve being on the outside. Because then you still
Pretty
have that
much.
stupid bend they want to have.
Yeah.
You can still put it up like this, and you have a sort of, was it BeoLink 7000 esque
Yeah.
uh, use out of it when charging.
Yeah. No, I think that should be something that that is rechargeable. Other than the Essence, Essence is a good remote, but it's not a good remote for just day-to-day use with TVs and operating menus within the TVs and navigation altogether. It's just too cumbersome, in my opinion.
I mean, the more and more this software is not up to what we expect from B&O because of their heritage, the more I agree with Sandeep in that I am very happy with my 50s that they're smart but dumb.
Yeah.
As in, there's not much that can go wrong. Like, they don't have to connect. They don't have a bunch of sources. They don't have a bunch of wireless weirdness or linking things. It's not
I
a.
must say we have done a few 28s in here. We haven't sold that many, but I can't say that I've been back once to a guy that has a Harmony, and it was kind of a weirdly set up to begin with. So I corrected it all, and they worked ever since. A knock on freaking wood, but they've worked. I've been at his house maybe 4 months ago, 5 months ago, and they're solid. And another place that we sold them to a Turkish family just in the old port. They've never called back other than that they're happy with them. So I don't know, like, I guess it depends on where you are situated, how much Wi-Fi interruption you have, how densely your Wi-Fi uh, antennas are, I guess, or whatever. So that's, I guess, what depends on those. But I don't know. We have them in the shop. We have two pairs. They run smooth. Mind you, they're on WISA, but
I mean, mine always worked in Biolab mode.
mhm,
Like in Biolab mode, they're totally fine. But
mhm.
if
You go to the Mozart nonsense, yeah, then it starts to go a little bit
I mean,
sideways.
I just have a hard time recommending a theater, even though I love the theater because it's
Hmm.
great in almost every way except for like the software is so bloody buggy.
Yes.
And I've had a good time with it, respectively to a lot of compared to a lot of other people. Mine has been nowhere near as buggy as anybody else's.
It's funny. I had a guy come over here. He wanted to see the walnut cover because he's got an anthracite theater with the gray melange, and he's thinking of getting the 18s for the rear. And we've met because he had some arc issue with his Samsung panel
Mm-hmm.
because he bought the panel before that, and obviously the B&O is like, oh yeah, it'll work on anything. In fact, plug it into a cement mixer, it'll play it too. No, it doesn't. So we chatted, blah blah, and then he came over, and I set him down on the couch, we're having a beer, blah blah, and the fucking theater just reboots like out of the blue, just reboots itself. I'm like, Tabaknak, man, what is happening? And it's been working solid ever since. And I don't know if it's scared of new people or something, but yeah, I've never really had many problems with it. I had problems with the LG's nonsense Wi-Fi, right? But a lot of people didn't really get to see that issue because most of the people that we had installed the theaters, we hardwired everything into. I had seen problems with people's theaters where they had uh, a few PlayStation issues where the HDR nonsense was going on. So we just plugged it into the the theater. I mean, to the LG panel, back HDMI 4, which is the gaming port, I guess, and it worked like a charm. Overall, it's a solid product, but when it comes to sound, I don't know if it's the apps and how they are set up for sound, but Crave sounds completely different from Amazon Prime. And the best one that I had come so far consuming media one way or the other is movies out of on a hard drive on a Plex player. It apparently just the sound of it is it's the best. We watched Dawn of the Dead yesterday, and I had to play with the adjustments because the sound of the center channel was kind of muffled. I don't understand why that is happening. Like, do I need to make a preset, like a sound preset for every specific app now? Because that's where I'm having a feeling that this is going to with me.
Is the PCM bug still there?
I don't know, but I also haven't reset my theater to factory settings in a long time, and I've done it at a few clients' places where things were bugged out and whatever. Even with the gentleman that had the PS5 issues, I've ended up just factory resetting the theater because it wouldn't show sources. It wouldn't rename sources from the screen. So if you put PlayStation 4 on the HDMI 4, it would just always show up on the Beo remote as HDMI 4.
Yeah, and you can only do that 2 times before it defaults to what it originally was called.
Oh, and what fucking rule? Where was I on that meeting? I don't understand why that is.
No, you have to factory reset it like fully to redo that.
So, and that's another thing that's bothersome to me is it doesn't let you delete a new sound preset that you make. That's a day one bug. It's still not been fixed. Interesting. So, oh yeah, the blue shirts again. Fuck, we totally did it.
Like, this is, we don't coordinate anything.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's just like I picked the blue shirt out today, and I had a feeling you're gonna wear a goddamn blue shirt, but I just stuck with my guns today.
I mean,
so
sometimes we on purpose don't talk just so we can actually talk now, and it's not like rehashing a bunch of stuff.
That's right. Yeah, so we don't talk back about what we had talked about before we go on air. Which is funny because back in the day when we used to podcast, like we started like 15 minutes before to warm up and whatnot. Now it's I'm fucking panicking halfway through the intro.
Where's my coffee?
Where's my coffee? Oh my god! And now it's just, I guess you get used to it, and I appreciate this outlet as well, and sharing the knowledge and experience with people on this channel because it's fun.
It's, again. B&O people, if you're watching, like, I want you to succeed, but like, and I know it's a different view and it maybe feels like an attack, right? But we're also still consumers of your products. Like, we don't pay little for it. And then having like, oh yeah, well, we had a PCM bug for 2-channel formats. It's like, it's been a year. Like, come on.
Right.
Like, is Jeff just gone? Is he on sabbatical or something? Like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this makes no sense to me. Like, because this never was a problem.
Like, no, but there never was so much software loaded into the B&O that it is now. Like, if you look at before the Beosound 5 era, it was more or less everything mechanical. Like, it was 10% software, maybe, and 90% mechanical movement. So the 9000 Beo Center 2, so on and so forth. And then comes the Beosound 5, which was basically a birth child of a Beo player, right?
Mm-hmm.
With a new
on a
Windows machine from freaking, like, oh my god, and it was stripped down to the pieces too. So. But then again, I think the system was misunderstood because when they came out with that, it was a hard drive music era, and people measured their music library by gigabytes instead of the quality and the amount of music they have. And I've seen it because people just wanted to load, the entire world on their Beosound 5. I'm like, bro, this is not meant for 50 or 100,000 titles. This is 10 to 12,000 title machine. And at the end of the day, if you have 12,000 songs, tabarnak, man, that's a lot of music that you like, in my opinion. So that being said, uh, there was some huge software issues with the Beosound 5 from what I remember. And they used to have the dumbest thing where they would update on Thursday night and push it on Friday morning to Canada. And then everybody would wake up to have people over for Friday night, and their Beomaster 5 and Beosound 5 would just dilapidated and wouldn't turn on, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it was not fun. And then I think the struggle continued on even when the Beosystem 4 came out. There were issues with center channel being pushed into the subwoofer bug, and there's always been something, but it was always worked out fairly quickly. Where now I think there's a big slump in getting to a solution in a
Yeah,
timely fashion, I would say.
but it's been a year.
Well, that's my point.
I mean, like even a BV7 or BV10 could switch on the fly between Dolby and PCM and all that.
Hmm.
Like this has not been an issue forever.
Bro, I went to a house and the gentleman has a BeoVision 10, and I couldn't believe how much I had gotten used to how snappy the theater and the screen and all that is comparatively to like turning on a BV10, and then you count fucking 20 Mississippis before the curtains even come across, right?
But at least you have
Uh,
curtains.
you have curtains, right? But yeah, I kind of accepted the fact that there's no curtains, but I disabled the LG logo because it really just, I think it cheapens the experience of the
It's like
theater.
there.
You
Get
know what?
some
I would have
bright
been
red
okay.
light in your face.
I would have been more okay if the app, once you install it and pair it with the theater, shows the Bang & Olufsen logo on the turn off instead of the LG that you could choose.
Yeah.
Somebody in there overwrite where the file is inside this operating system on the LG thing. So just change the GIF for or LG logo
Could
for the
you
B&O one.
please fix the PCM 2.0 true image issue first? It's not so bad when you have big speakers attached to your theater, but one of my favorite things to do is newcomers to B&O is like help them through making choices and that people are happy with it.
Yes.
But now if people go like, should I buy a theater? It's 10 grand. I
13.
mainly listen to TV. It's like, okay, well, you need to know settings because there's a bug and it's been there for a year now. It's like,
Yeah.
you don't want to have to say that.
But also a lot of people that that they consider some themselves techie when I walk them through the theater, because they, not that they insist, but they kind of want to, they're curious. I'm like, okay, let's walk through all the settings and stuff, right? They all looking at it like, wow, there's a lot of options that you can actually modify and stuff. It's like, can I actually break that? I'm like, well, no, you can't. But always make a copy or duplicate your duplicate your tuning position before you start playing with it. Which then, at least that you can delete, but you can't delete the sound
I
presets,
mean,
which is kind of goofy to me.
through the, what is it, the BOYs, or can you let them know about the PCM thing? I mean, how aware are they? Because, like, I haven't had a TV, so I can't make any cases because my theater is grayed out all the time. But on the other
That's
hand,
also weird sometimes that it grays out on the app, even though it's playing.
but like, I would think surely they are aware. I mean, I think they've commented on it once on their Discord a long time ago that it's a known bug, but it's sort of like, I almost feel like surely you have some going in your headquarters and they show the same bugs, because if not, then what the hell's going on?
Hmm.
Because everybody has the same PCM 2.0 bug. I've never heard anybody that said, no, I don't have it.
Here's an interesting one. I have two clients, both with the Beosound Theater and a 65-inch LG panel. or a 55. One is a 55, one is 65. It doesn't matter. It's all both G2 panels, and that doesn't matter either. I have a bell box, 4K big bell box, plugged into ass end of each of them. They're both in the HDMI B because A is for Apple TV, B we go with the bell box and whatever. And then we put the puck cable in there, and then they're both on the puck A.
Mm-hmm.
One will always shut off the bell box and turn it back on when you turn it on, but the other one doesn't. And like, that's weird, right? Like, how is that? So I get the guy, because the only way to do it, he would have to reboot the bell box, right? I'm like, so what the fuck? I'm like, grab the remote from the bell, put new batteries in it, and see it if that works. He grabs the bell box remote, fucking zero, like no IR reception, like it doesn't take any commands. So I'm like, okay, it's not the theater, man, it's the bell box that, like at the end of the day, you got to understand that is the cheapest piece of electronics you own in the house, is that DVR box, which is made in fucking Taiwan somewhere in a,
If you're lucky.
If you're in the back
Taiwan's
factory.
Upscale.
Yeah. So yeah, these things are just slapped together, left, right, and center. And yeah, and they also recycle the boxes. So even if you get a box from the Bell, it doesn't mean that it's brand new. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. But there has been a lot of issues that I've seen, like with the puck tables that got sorted out. I still think that they have to address the network link converter and net music, net radio source accessibility on the Mozart platform overall, because right now it is not possible to call out, let's say, net radio or net music, which is, let's say your Beomaster or whatever. It's not possible to do that. They should definitely address that, because you also cannot control anything from the network link downstream. So if you have a 9000 touche, you can't control it.
You can sort of.
How?
Christian made some shortcuts. They're on the Discord somewhere.
Okay.
Because Shawnee is using them because he has a 9000 and now a theater.
Oh, I need to look at that, because I have a client that has a Beosound 4 and a theater.
I'm not sure what else is involved, but it's and I'm not sure it's from the remote, but it's definitely doable from a
VR1?
From a phone.
Okay. See, and that's another thing that I miss my shit, because if I'm gonna, once I set up in my apartment.
Same. I feel so naked. Like I can't test anything.
It's so frustrating, because I would have a 9000, just everything, and I'm gonna do it too. Fuck it, I'm not selling the speakers, bro. No way, not for this money. No way. Fuck that. Keeping my 90s.
I need a birthday gift.
Wanna buy my shape? That also went retarded expensive too, by the way. Shape amps and speakers went up in price.
Yeah, a speaker went from 700 to 1,000 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And an amp, something similar like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the cover's not hugely, but like if the main parts that you need for sound, it's funny. Somebody on the Discord, Lupus, he bought initially a shape, and I told him this is going to be your next addiction. And sort of like nah, and now he's at like 20 tiles within a week.
Holy fuck! But that system can definitely run away from you on a crazy scale, because it's so cool. And it's not really that hard to expand on. It's like a freaking Lego set, more or less, right?
It's
you just
the
click
easiest
more
thing
tiles.
to expand. And it only gets better with more.
Yes.
I mean, I guess your wall doesn't, because at some point your wall is just held up by the screws.
What, at the end of the day, like when I had 72 screw holes in my apartment, right? If you do 5 screws or 72, at the end of the day, you got to paint the whole bloody wall anyhow. So who cares?
Yeah.
Just do the whole thing. Do the right thing.
I mean, I like a shape. I know it's going to cost me inordinate amount of money because it's going to be the only thing. I'm like, oh, let's get some more. Oh, let's get some more. Oh, let's get some more. And there's really no need for me to have one. Like, I don't even
Yeah,
know.
but you can. The nice thing about it is that you can somewhat mitigate going full retard on it, right? Because you can just buy a little bit and then a little bit more and then a little bit more, right? And all of a sudden you like, in a Hendrix world where he fucking lost control over his house.
Yeah. Don't forget to like
Thanks,
and
Sean.
subscribe.
Fucking A, man. Very much appreciated for the links. Nice. Okay, I'll play with that. Thank you very much for the shortcuts, my friend. So
So
yeah.
with how our current bedroom is, master bedroom, there's like a door, then a massive glass wall, then a pocket door where the bathroom is behind, then a closet. So we're sort of thinking like, if we want a TV back into the bedroom, how the hell are we going to do it? And we're
Mhm.
potentially thinking, I still have that. Oh God, that box from that Danish company with power link outs.
Oh,
Of
Alamando.
no.
Blue Note, Blue Link, Blue something, Bluebird,
Oh
Blue Balls.
no. I feel bad now. I did a video on it.
I remember it though. It's a white box, right, with the power link outputs on it.
Yeah. Uh, oh God, I feel bad for not remembering it now.
Too bad. Too bad for you.
Well, I should be able to. There we go. The whole audio Wi-Fi streamer.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm thinking of getting just a regular LG flat on the wall, and then potentially using like the ones and the 19 in the bedroom or something like that.
Mhm.
And then I have a theater left over, but that could make for an awesome gaming setup.
Yeah, my girlfriend's talking PS5 as well, so I'm not opposed to that idea. I just need to find out if it's possible to play together with a computer. Like if she's on the screen with the joystick, because I'm bad with the joystick, but I can sure shit kick her ass on the fucking mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, so I may actually use my theater for like in here with my computer.
And what are you gonna do for the living room?
Well, I have a theater and 50s and 617s and 18s and
Oh, you're gonna get another theater, you're thinking?
no, sorry, not theater, stage. Excuse me, like
Oh,
this. Use the stage that was in my bedroom and use it as a gaming setup like this.
yeah. There's no lag on the setup. Quite honestly, I've watched my client play some games because we tested it on PS5, plugged in into the theater and into the panel. The panel is, I think, it's a better performance because it just goes straight piping it into, doesn't have to bypass anything or other electronics inside the theater. So I find it's just easier to pipe everything into the back of the TV unless you need pocket control, and then just have HDMI arc with a network cable in between for your Bio Remote one, and you should be more than happy with the setup. But there is no sound delay, there's no lag of any kind when it comes to gaming
I
so
mean,
far that I've seen.
I used to have my Beosound 2 on my desk as my computer
Mm-hmm.
speaker. I mean, which
Mm-hmm.
is obviously it's stereo sorta,
Yeah,
but I couldn't perceive any lag. It was so minimal, if anything, that it wasn't really bothersome.
and that's not even meant to be in a multi-room setup with a, because that would have a lag, but not no, it would not lag over the HDMI arc. No way.
So yeah,
Oh, so the mouse and keyboard would lag. But I'm talking about, like, are there games that I can play, like let's say Steam engine games that are available on PS5 that are also available on the PC that we can both play online at the same time? You know what I mean?
yeah, you can play Fortnite.
Oh fuck, that's not all that I'm interested in. Oh, that's some skinny play displays, I guess.
No, this is that NFT stuff, I think.
Oh,
these covers. Yeah, I don't know what to think of them.
They're okay, except the last one. I like the middle, actually. The dots. It's very almost Herman Millerish, Nelson type of thing.
Yeah.
These would be cool, man.
They
These
actually
girls
made
would
these.
be cool. Fuck.
This was a custom order, if I'm not mistaken, for a client.
Tabarnak. That is cool.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, the top crown wasn't fabric, it was woven rubber strands.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a beautiful set of 90s. Those are a little too blingy for me.
I mean, they're ultra blingy.
Yeah, that's just way too much. Don't get me wrong, they're beautiful, but that's not my taste at all.
I think these are made for,
Some shake.
yeah. Could be
So
Miami too nowadays. Miami is getting back to its old glory days of the 80s where everything was cocaine and white collars and Ferraris
and gold,
everywhere.
gold chains and shit.
And like proper Tony Montana.
That's right. But yeah, because I even have a spare set of sails for mine.
Maybe you should sell those.
If anybody wants black, they are mint. But I'm gonna keep them.
I mean, it is actual gold.
Yeah, I know. That's insanity.
Like,
and there's no holes. Let's see, these will never have the top crowns on them because there's no hole behind this the speaker where the peg goes in. So these would also be interesting to move because you have nowhere to screw the what I call the bull horns, right? Those 3 pegs that go in.
maybe the gold comes out in some way. I bet you this.
But I think
everything
it
is
looks like it's a
custom,
cover.
like including the installation is custom.
No, I know. I think that plastic is a cover that actually grommets onto those. That's what it looks like because it's when I'm looking at the mid-range driver, it's too close to the edge. Okay,
That's that see-through cover.
That's cool.
By the way, thank you, Emilios, for taking these pictures and posting them on our Discord.
Yeah, buddy. Good job, man. Good job. Those must have been nice to see in real life, I swear.
Yeah, this is a bottom cover for you. The one they made for the gold.
Oh my god, that's what is it, cherry wood? No, not cherry wood, rosewood?
Yeah, something like that.
Fuck, that's beautiful. If not, I don't think it's even rosewood. I think it's something more expensive than that.
Like, I'm totally, like, I don't care how much you charge for this sort of stuff, right? Go for it. Charge through the roof for it. Like, this is, like, you're showing some proper craftsmanship.
Yes.
But when the sort of factory assembled products that are the standard go up this much, that's where I'm starting to run into, like, sort of mental problems.
Yeah, it's a little too much. But that's just the way that the cookie crumbles nowadays, man. How much you can do.
Laura says it's black walnut.
Black walnut, that's beautiful. Fuck. Oi. It's a little too busy grain-wise for me, like for what I like the walnut like, because it wouldn't even match my Eames chair, but it looks beautiful.
Well, if you need some black walnuts, my grandfather-in-law has like, I don't know, a few hundred black walnut trees on his property.
Fuck. Right. It's gonna ship those to Denmark to cut me some side panels for my Emerge. I'm really, really debating on adventuring in a way to get walnut covers for the Emerge. I know it's going to be more than the Emerge to get them, but
I think the Emerge is going up as well. It's going to like €1,000 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, everything is going up, man.
Which is like, what? For that? Yeah, no. I didn't like it to begin with, but now it's insane. And then you have
But
Steve going like, "Ooh, but I like the immersion." It's like, "Ooh, I'm sitting on
I
the gold
am
mine now."
I am on board with Steve. I hated that product, and I take back everything I said about it back in the day. It still looks like a fucking router, don't get me wrong, but the sound performance, like for a bathroom or a small room, for me it's a bathroom speaker. It'll never be something that I'm gonna just like have to listen to. Maybe a background music in the kitchen, but if it's gonna be in an apartment where it's open concept, more likely, then I'm gonna have the 90s there and Sessa. There is no point to even worry about anything else. 18s as well. But for bathroom, that speaker is just something else, man. It's just something else. I absolutely love it. I love the sound of it, and quite honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of like the entire touch interface. It's way too sensitive, especially when you want to wipe the dust, and all of a sudden you go through all of your my buttons, right? And the thing just so that's one thing that I dislike on it. But I use the Essence remote with it more or less, anyways. So
I'm
it
so
sounds
happy
great.
with my M3 comparatively for everything, like the price, the size, the
The sound is not there the same though.
No,
We
oh,
compared it
I
with my girl,
agree,
and
but like at least if you want to go loud, it keeps on sounding okay.
mm, whose setup is that?
At B&O.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that's oh, and they got 17 still.
Yeah. See,
Mm,
they understand that what I've been saying, that the 17s are the best height speakers, but they
yeah,
somehow refuse to sell them or make anything similar.
there's an awful lot of antennas in that ceiling, if that's what they are, or microphones
I
maybe.
think they might be microphones. I think this is one of their rooms for testing and stuff.
Yeah, it's got to be microphones. But that's cool. Oh, this is crazy ass cabinet. So cool, but it's not worth that money. We got a couple biograms in the shop. I noticed the other day. All dusted up. I don't know if they work or not.
I don't know. Biograms are pretty solid.
Hmm.
Like the old stuff just keeps on going and going and going and going.
The only thing that literally would go on it is the belt,
Yeah, I mean,
and they're not. They're hard to find, but they're not that hard to find.
beoparts.com, I think.
If anybody's interested in a Beolab 11 with a new amplifier board in it, I have one available as well. 'Cause I really don't have the need for it much. So I'm considering also I have a V1, but I kind of like it because it's cute. The 32-inch.
That was another thought of mine, putting a V140 in the bedroom and then have a proper way to drive. Like,
Everything.
yeah,
You can't go wrong with the V140.
I mean, just have to find a wall bracket that like you can move. Because the bed is this way and the TV would be flat on a wall that's perpendicular to, or on the same.
Hmm.
I mean, essentially, it wouldn't be for me much anyway. But the
Hmm.
missus likes to watch her shows in bed. And
Yeah,
I
it's a
have an
girl.
Apple TV, which I kind of never really use on the theater anyway.
Hmm.
I
Well,
mean,
everything is in the panel, more or less.
yeah. I mean, and I don't.
You don't have a cable box, do you?
No.
What for?
But, well, even if I wanted one, I couldn't get one with my provider. I mean, it's all over fiber here, so
Mm.
even regular cable TV is a subscription service.
Mm. So it's all internet based now.
Yeah,
Okay.
but what I dislike most about the Apple interface is the keyboards. Like whenever you go into like Disney or whatever, right? It's A through Z in a
I
one
know,
long
and
line. It's like, why? This is so annoying.
they've never fixed it. They've never fixed it, and it's been like that for a long time. But I think Apple now it has like, well, it's still ABCD, but it's clumped to like one grid now.
Yeah.
That's a cool remote. Oh my god, they made them in wood too.
I would love if they
Fudge.
made one in wood.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude.
bring this color out too.
I would love the wood remote.
Do you think it would be too light almost in wood?
No, not with the batteries. It would still hold the batteries would be on it'll be properly balanced still, in my opinion. But it just looks so nice. But use your phone as a keyboard input. I hate that because then you have to have your phone with you all the time. It's
Yeah.
silly. Or yeah, use Apple keyboard, I guess.
Oh, good God, no. Just design a decent user interface.
Hmm. See, I like the Halo with the wooden panels. They should do those also. I don't know if it's, I guess it's an option of a bespoke now, but they should still have them introduced in a product line for a premium price. Here you go. There's a wood cover for your Halo.
Yeah, I think it looks good, especially with the darker color.
Yes. So I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
Stop being a bunch of boomers. Not everything has to be digital all the time. You get a remote. The whole point of B&O is having one remote. Then if you
Mhm.
have an Apple TV, then you go, well, it's Apple. We need another remote for that. It's like,
Yeah,
no. The whole point of buying B&O is having one remote that does it all.
that's right.
Like, I've used the Apple remote because everybody gets one, right? But even there,
Mhm.
it's sort of like, why is this all the way? Why is it like that? Why is it not like the LG apps,
Mhm.
like just a
Yeah,
square?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I don't
it
know.
makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I only use LG panels functionality more or less, so I don't really have that problem. But I completely feel your pain. It's better now per se, as far as like from my installer perspective point of view, because you can use the phone and just put it close to the Apple TV, and it logs you in and migrates all the passwords for the Wi-Fi and all, so you can bypass all that nonsense. And then depending on the clients, how many apps they have, they just log into that. Usually they say, okay, no, I'll just log in myself, because they usually, oh, what's the password? Excuse me, what's the password? Blah blah. And it's just, I don't, that's the worst. That's the longest part of the installations nowadays, is the people looking for their password information for the different apps
I
that
mean,
they
it's
have.
I don't even blame B&O for the Apple TV thing, right? Like, this is just a bad design on Apple's part.
Hmm.
Like, even with the Apple TV remote, it's not a good design to have A to Z left to right.
No.
It's just not practical. I mean, going from A to Z is just too long when it could be like diagonal in 4 steps.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know how much the Halo is gonna go up in price, but I think it's gonna go up as well. Let's see if I can find. So many days, but I don't see any where the prices are.
It's
I think
probably
it's gonna up. I think it's gonna go up at least 5%. That's my opinion, but you never know. Mm, yeah. Also, the BNO radio now replaces TuneIn, and that's gonna affect all the product except our beloved Beosound Moment. By the way,
yeah. I have
so
one.
me too.
I've used it here for like a week, and then everything had to be put away again to like not be covered in dust. I mean, it saved
Yeah.
my bacon. At least we had music for like a week. Like, my speakers are still not in place. The electricians are coming tomorrow to like finish it all, and
Hmm.
which is a good thing. And then we can actually start doing stuff. Also, I was looking at furniture because like the floor is in, the kitchen is nearly done. We
Yeah,
can actually finally start living, which is still in its relatively fast. We've been at it like 5 weeks now or so.
yeah.
For 80, well, for 70% of the house, that's actually not too bad to be like completely redone, painted, ceilings like popcorn removed, and like new texture on the ceiling, and floors removed, laid, demoed, new floor in, kitchen out and moved.
Hmm.
It's decent, but I mean, in Europe it took me longer. To this stage, would have taken me probably 8 to 9 weeks. But
Why? Contractor availability
it's materials as well.
on materials. Yeah. Hmm.
But then I started looking at like because we're getting to the point where we need to buy a couch,
Yeah.
and part of the reason where I'm scratching behind my back, like, do I make you an offer for your 90s? But now that you're over it, it's okay because I found a couch
Okay.
like that I really really like, and the backrests like they move, so you can make it thinner, and or you can make the couch deeper and or more normal,
Hmm.
and it's Italian, and it's like 10 grand or so. It's like USD, not Canadian, so it's like
Hmm. Yeah. It's a nice couch though.
yeah, I really like it. The thing that makes me
It
question
would
it
look
more,
good with those white 90s, wouldn't
sure, it would also
it?
look good with 50s and then the aluminium covers.
That's right.
But what worries me a lot more is cats and nails.
Oh yeah. Is it leather?
Yeah,
Mm.
we had a leather couch before, like
But they didn't.
our Bacon and Winston, right? Like they're okay because they're like 5 now,
Yeah, but the new
and
cat on the block.
yeah, she's not even 1,
Oh,
and she's still. Whenever you close the blinds, for some reason, the blinds have to be attacked. So it doesn't matter where you are. Like if she's right here, right, and on the other side of the house, she closed the blinds. It's like, and it's like,
I'm going for it. Yeah, I don't know how you train cats, bro. I never had one.
well, you can. We did it with our other two, but like
Hmm.
the newest cat, she's still a kitten.
Hmm.
Like it's basically in the middle of being a toddler. It'll take a
Pretty
bit
much.
before she's like normal.
Hmm. Well, it's like kids, right?
Yeah.
They all have to grow up. So even the animals go through their play stage, and then they get more. They slow down and get more serious, I guess, in life, just like we all do.
But I mean, I don't know how you feel, but to me, especially with cats in use and that sort of thing, like 10 grand for a piece of furniture, I think is quite expensive, especially for something that will get wear and tear.
Hmm.
I'm not against it, but it's not something I would do like normally. It's not like, oh, it's just a couch, right? Like if you spill something on it.
Hmm.
But I really, really like that couch. So it's sort of like, hmm. I've also never realized how enormous normal couches are here.
Oh yeah, it's much bigger than
Bec-
Europe for sure.
because this is considered a small couch and it's 2 meter 50 by 2 meter 50.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it's under for small spaces.
Well, there's different small. I
Yeah,
guess the
so
concept of small here is different than it is in Europe. That's for bloody damn sure.
we're looking at other couches that look nice, right? And then you look at the size and it's like 140 inch by 140 inch, which is like 3 meter 30 by 3 meter 30.
Fighting mango, that's a bed, not a couch. Pretty much, but that's normal here, man. Especially with those electric recliners you can get and all that nonsense in it that it expands and yeah, it's I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
more of a simple couch guy, I guess. So I'd never had a couch. Well, I had a couch. I had two different couches that were all fucked up, and then I ended up deciding to just live as Jeff Martin describes, one chair, no friends.
Well, I can't do that.
Well, neither can I anymore because now I have a girlfriend that I'm going to be living with. So I'm going to have to consider buying a couch of some sort. We'll just probably get some IKEA nonsense, or maybe buy a or rent a fully furnished apartment, which would be even better because both of us are not staying in Montreal indefinitely. She's planning to move to Vancouver at some point of time. So our paths will split at some point. It's just you know how easy it is to make on each other to make that move, right? As far as headache with selling everything afterwards.
Yeah. But
I know I'm gonna have to set the speakers to wide. Fuck. But every now and then she's gonna be out of the house. They're gonna go to narrow mode, and I'm not selling them. Fuck that. That was a crazy idea that I just had. That's no.
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. But I also appreciate the vote and people's opinion because I for what I would have sold them, I would have sold them for very cheap, very insulting cheap, and they're not. They're not. There's absolutely zero damage on those speakers, so I'm not even concerned. There's no way.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, another thing with the couches and furniture like this is they don't show it anywhere. It's an Italian couch. It's like it's made in Italy, right? So there's furniture stores here, but I haven't been able to find any that has this on show. I mean, on the other hand,
furniture shopping is hard.
On the other hand, it's the US, and return policies are crazy to me coming from Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Because here, like, if you don't want it or if you don't like it, you return it, right? In Europe, it's usually like you return it if something's wrong with it. If you made a bad choice, it's not returnable.
No, you just live with that shit.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you buy clothing or something and you say, can I try it at home and return it? They'll say yes. But if it's like, if it fits, it's sort of on you to keep it.
Mm. Yeah, it's weird how it works here, but that definitely does work like that. It's a different level of customer service, I guess, but it's also a different culture of it too, right? Where here it's just customers always right no matter what, especially when they turn to full care, and then you just want them to fuck out of the store, so you're just gonna work it out no matter what, and just get out. Please don't come back ever again. So
but
I don't want your
feels
business.
a bit weird paying like 10 grand for something sort of sight unseen. I mean, I'm pretty sure like it's I don't know if it's famous or not. The designer's called Max Divani. If I'm Googling it online, people speak highly of it. I'm not that into designer names. The only real furniture design I know is Eames chairs. Because we like B&O and everybody loves Eames chairs, right?
It's a great chair to have for listening to music in it.
It's just that I'm too large, even for the XL version. Like, I'm too tall.
Yeah, your neck falls back.
Yeah, like the backrest sits here with the XL version to me.
Yeah, for me it's about here. It's still not more. It's still not good enough. BLF clickbait. No, I was very close to selling, bro.
Oh, I didn't tell Willie what the title was or the thumbnail, or like we don't do any of this rehearsal.
No, nothing's fixed, bro. Nothing's fixed. Nothing's planned. It's just we go by it.
I mean, I got a text Thursday saying like I'm thinking of selling my 90s, and then I asked why, and I got no response whatsoever. So I decided to go with this as a thumbnail and a title.
And that was that. Oh boy. Ralph is asking, what is the sound value of the USB-C to analog plug for the theater? Well, it's a line-in input for your turntable per se if you wanted to, but also I believe it's for service. So I think you can also charge stuff out of it because it's got voltage output. But I haven't tried, but I think you can hook up a USB-C hard drive onto it. For whatever reason you would do that, I don't know. It's more or less to the TV, but I think it's only for line input and service, which I haven't
think it's
been
only
able
line
to find.
in and service, yes.
But I haven't been able to see anything that I would have as a technician for a tool to plug into the USB-C at the back of the theater and and make it work. I think it more or less is all
Maybe it's like a
product.
TPL switch, like we had plans for it that we ditched.
Yeah. And I think it's like everything that you do on the theater is to the PHC or product health center. So it's all online. So I guess when you lose network connectivity to the speaker, I don't know what you would do other than plug it in the USB-C through. I don't know what you would run it because there's nothing on
Maybe it's
a
for like
service
when
tool.
it like properly breaks and you have to send it back, right? Whereas like you don't have access over Ethernet anymore.
Mhm.
Like maybe B&O has like a tool at headquarters to,
They
like
must have something that we don't have access to.
like
Yeah,
if you brick an EEPROM or something like that.
that they can go back in and look at it.
Like your 80% mid update, you get a power surge and the power goes out.
That's my constant worry, especially in Montreal, because the power is not stable here. That's the problem,
It
especially during the
was
storms.
the whole time I've been here, but there was a surge here today. So I'm very happy nothing is plugged in to the wall yet, and I will have a surge protector put in tomorrow.
Mm.
Like it literally popped everything off. Like I was actually changing the shower head in the bathroom, and it's like lights out, and you hear everything pop off, and like within 2 seconds everything was on again. It's like, the fuck was that?
Yeah, that's a brownout. That's definitely no good at all. But
Yeah.
yeah, how Matt Curtis asking, how long have I had a 90s, and do you feel that you had their worth over time? Probably one of the first guys to own them. I think
2016 for the white ones, right?
I was, it was 2016. When did I get them?
I mean, you had the black ones before you had the white ones.
I got the black ones in December of 2015
Yeah.
because I know we had the New Year's party with the blacks, and it was fucking like we just hammered them. And then I got the
Celebrate
90s.
good time. The
Come
80s
on.
disco music.
And then we had and then I swapped I swapped out in March of 2016. So they were playing from March 2016 to March 2022. So 6 years they were in my house, and now they're sitting in the storage in their boxes, waterproof sealed, dustproof sealed, sad, strapped to the corners of the storage locker. But the way things are going now, I don't think it's going to be for long.
Thank you, Chaba. Sure. He just added me. This is the Beosound 2 Ferrari version.
Yeah, they're beautiful. They are very nice. I like that the top crown is black. It looks sick. That whole thing looks absolutely sick. But yeah.
If this was slightly more, I would consider buying one because I really do like it. I kind of wish, like, I don't care for the Ferrari logo, but the coloring is really, really nice.
Mm-hmm. That's my colors, man. Like all my Milwaukee stuff, I'm buying this in Ferrari edition because it's gonna be with me in a toolbox, more or less. I'm gonna be bringing it around. I know it's stupid, like it's double the price almost or whatever, but I'm gonna get it because I just like the look of it.
But if it's 7,000 USD or thereabouts, if it's more than 2x, if it's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, bro, but you know what? Like people that buy that don't drive a Honda Civic. Like if you have Ferrari money, you have money to buy this.
Hey, I don't have a Honda Civic. I have a Kia.
Well, fuck. So, but yeah, that's
the front of my Kia matches the 50, so they have the same grille.
I guess we leaked because it's not official yet. Oops.
Yeah,
it's coming out on Tuesday. Fuck.
Then how the hell are the pictures out in the open?
As usual. I didn't leak it. Well, whatever, man. It's nice. I still like the colors.
I mean, I saw them before without even, like, whether you know or not, like, I'm doing most of the house reno myself as much as I can because doing it saves more money than I can make in the same amount of time, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not that active in like searching or looking for leaks or talking to people. Not at all. It's more incidental when I have a break. And I already saw them. And I don't even remember where. It may have been the Discord, but I don't think so. So, whomever leaked it, good, bad, weird.
It's, you know what? It's not like it's a new product. It's just a new color. So that's
I'll create a second
my
channel.
colleagues first. So I definitely like I like the color. It looks sweet. Mikey's daytime job is a renovator now. He's a self-employed contractor.
Yeah. Well, technically, literally, yeah.
So
I mean, I'm guaranteed to overbuild your shit.
it's the best way to do it. Then it won't fall.
Yeah. Yeah, like if it requires 2 screws for whatever necessity, I'm gonna put a third one in and potentially a fourth. Did you mute or did I mute? What the hell happened?
No, I muted for some reason. I don't know.
Oh.
I clicked something. I think yeah, I needed this. I needed the public opinion, I guess, on what I was about to do, and I'm appreciating that a lot. And yeah, I'm not gonna let go for that little. That's too little.
If somebody has a way to convince Willie, make an offer he can't refuse. And I don't mean like a horse head in his bed.
But yeah, you know, everything has its price, but this is way too little. This is way too little for those speakers. And whatever, if it takes a few $100 to get the movers to bring them in, to bring them into my new apartment, then so be it.
Maybe a silly question, but looking at these Beosound 2s in this color palette, do you think this could work on 50s? Because I think this color combo could work excellently on 50s.
I think it would be too dominant, but it would be just like the red 8000s back in the day.
Yeah, but just have the lens be black with the wings and the inner plate. So it would look like this when they're on, but then be red when they're off. I think that could work with like a black, like a properly black front cover, not the Mercedes grille. Somebody that's good in Photoshop, maybe do that. Because, I mean, if we're talking silly money and Ferrari, people will pay whatever. I think this could work on 50s. I mean, yeah. It's a nice red.
Oh, yeah.
So, it reminds me of... It's not as... It's a better red than the old 8000 reds were to me.
Oh, I think this is more or less on a ballpark with the color match of the Ferrari color, isn't it? If it's a Ferrari red, wouldn't it be Ferrari red?
Yeah, but the Ferrari racing team red is a bit more brownish the last few years than like bright red.
Yeah, but also the pictures never do the justice, and especially the B&O, the way that they do them nowadays. It's just, I'm interested to see that in real life. We should have it soon, I'm certain of it, if it's already out. But I'm very interested in it. I'm very, very interested in that color combo. It looks beautiful to me.
I'm really wondering what they'll cost. Jarvis, was it B&O that leaked it again? I don't know where they came from originally. I don't know either. At this point, I don't care anymore.
It's not like something that it's a new product. It's just a new color, quite honestly. It's the same,
Yeah,
I
but
guess.
besides, like, this is... I like this as a custom option. The price I probably don't like, but it's a good-looking product. It's not like... God, when they had the Atelier thing where they showed Pink's 90s, right? Like, that just makes it go, oh. It's like, what the hell, man? But this actually looks good. But
yeah,
I mean,
I like it. I think it's nice.
I've been telling them forever now, like, please use leaks as a tool, not just as oopsies. Because you could have done something with this that was interesting that would have got us talking.
Yeah.
Used
Yeah, there is a new level
leaks at
color
that
too.
point, right? Like have a set date, but like leak things. Or like what Apple does, have sort of, I don't know, maybe us or Henrik or Eric or whatever on Instagram and send them stuff and like have pre-production shots or things that make people go, like what actually is that? And then keep quiet about it.
I think they've done that with the Harmony release. That was a good job because it was really intriguing and hard to see what the heck it was. But it was just a picture of a grill in front of the TV, but it was hard to tell because you didn't know if it was a mirror or it was actual panel or what it was, and that was a good sneaky leak.
Yeah, that was great.
But,
I like that a lot.
They haven't done anything like that since. So,
but if you're listening, please use leaks at that point as a marketing tool.
Yeah, to your advantage, not disadvantage.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna call it for today, I think. Like
Time's
and subscribe
up, everybody.
if you haven't yet already. Thank you for making Willie sane again. Sa? Like make a red cap, make Willie sane again. Sa.
So yeah, no, I'm good. I'm glad. I'm glad I had the therapy session with everybody in the chat.
See you all probably
next week.
I have to go to Chicago, so I'll let you know. We'll talk. I think I'll be okay.
But don't hold your breath.
Well, I'm 90% sure it'll be okay, but there's possibilities, right? That like stuff goes wrong and sideways because I'll be like, what, 1,000 miles away, maybe. So anyway, I'll let everybody know on the Discord. If you see a cancellation, then it's for sure cancelled. If you don't hear much of anything, then we'll probably be good. Yep. So see you all probably next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for watching.